Welcome to Cooperville.
Do you know what's fun to do in Cooperville? Pack up your shit and get the fuck out!
Listen. www.welcometocooperville.com. Who the fuck says www anymore? I can't even say it. www. Stop that. The Welcome to Cooperville podcast. On demand anywhere quality podcasts are available. And some places where cheap podcasts are available.
And the local gas station has some.
Subscribe, get updates, feel better about your life. Welcome to Cooperville.com. Check one, check.
Welcome to Cooperville! Make sure you use a coaster. The wife gets upset when we leave rings on the tables.
Finish that, and then when we're recording, I'll give you another beer.
Why is it covered up?
Which one?
It doesn't have a label. It's like black.
It's like a new thing. I don't know. It's 2 weeks ago I bought a 12-pack and it was full on PBR. Now it's like, ooh. They found this in the basement.
It's the Uber hipster. It's like for the closet hipster.
We don't need no fucking label. Fuck you guys.
You already know me. If you don't know me, you don't know me.
You don't know this logo. You don't even know.
Everybody gets a ribbon, apparently.
Alexa,
knock it off.
stop. Stop it.
I just hear you chewing. Jeez.
Sorry. Just one more.
I was gonna say, do we have to think like no, it's not Jack. It's not Jack.
Old Trapper.
Old Trapper.
Guaranteed to stick in your teeth.
Forever.
Until you go to the dentist. Floss can't get
Forever.
Write this stuff down. Like, I need to find a dentist. Sponsor. So I made the executive decision that I was going to grow a beard, and the first person I called was Phil. Phil Norvold is back. Adam Schultz he brought with. Trouble is about to ensue. Just because I say the word beard does not mean we need to grab it. It's like,
oh, no, it does.
No.
Just need to touch it.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, okay, we're just going to go through some
Beard's
kindergartens.
in there.
Beard is in there.
We got to pull it out of your
left
face.
out.
That's how this works.
Is that how it is?
Yeah, you got to do it too. That's
'Cause
how you got to grow that beard. You got to tug on it.
All I've been doing is just like thinking really hard. Like I've been making the poop face like every morning when I wake up. Like, come on, just grow faster, and it doesn't.
No, just because it's on your head doesn't mean that you can just think.
It's not. Oh man, I'm so confused on this. It's what do we call? I'm going to call this like MaxBilt episode number 10 because we have the mind and the master. I think here we call it the master and the mind and the master.
Sure.
See what I did there?
I like it.
I get it.
Because we had Phil on episode number 2. He was the first guest, and we figured we'd throw some actual brains behind this operation and bring Adam into the situation here. Now we are in the basement. We are drinking. You guys brought like I'm not even sure what. You got cans of everything.
Plethora.
I feel like
It's a smorgasbord.
I feel like I should call the guys at Northwoods and thank them tonight, and then yell at them tomorrow.
Right. Yep. 10-4. Sean, get with the program.
What do you have over there? I feel I'm scared. You got tall cans. You got there. It's like a rainbow of beverage options on the table right now.
Well, we have the Broken Eights Hemp IPA. That's the tall can. That's the silo there. It's supposed to be good. I've never had it yet.
I'm not a big IPA guy.
I'm not either, but we're gonna do that.
We brought that
tonight.
for you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Now, I'll call you in the morning. And
Yeah, no, you can thank us later too. We're gonna drink all these tonight. So
There's only 4 of them, so.
yeah,
good. My wife will love that when she gets back and she's banging on the ceiling from upstairs. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing down there?
don't worry about
We're
it.
talking about beards, honey. By the way, so I texted you first when I had this epiphany that I should grow a beard for some reason at age 38. And so I was down here, I was in my office, I was working, I went upstairs, I texted you, and I was like, is this stuff like legit? Because I had already gone down the rabbit hole of things that you can buy to make your beard like magical, and there was unicorns and other shit that's out there on the World Wide Web. I went upstairs and I said, what would you think if I grew a beard? Now, my son, I think, was almost just born. So it was 9-ish years ago. I had tried because the Packers were in the playoffs. The Packers play for the NFL, that is football, just to clarify for you, Phil.
All right.
And I
Go team. All the home runs.
Go with the scoring. And I did a playoff beard, which was just like I just like got lazy because I'm like, oh, we only got 6 days until we can sit down and drink all day and watch football and call it like fandom. And it didn't work out. I mean, it was.
I know about that.
Yeah, fandom.
I get that. The sitting around drinking beer all day. They call that fandom.
Well, if you need to associate it with something
got
else,
it.
like what is the reason that you're sitting around drinking all day?
I call it Sunday.
Here's the reason. I got up at 6. We made bloodies. You know,
I'm growing a beard.
and I'm growing a beard because if I do, then this football team that I have no correlation to besides the fact that I live in the state will win, and they did. My beard was not a winner. It was unsuccessful.
You didn't wait long enough.
That might have been what they won the Super Bowl, and I was like, no, I give up.
No, there's a rule to that.
But I went upstairs and I told her, I think I'm going to grow a beard, and it looked like maybe I like, you know, when you put the finger in the wrong hole, like
No.
that was the reaction. That was the reaction I got. Like, huh? What? Like we've been down this road, but you've made this mistake before,
Right.
In life.
Yeah.
But
you don't always learn.
No, we're men. We're dumb and need
You
to be
have to
told
try at least twice.
At least.
That's a rule too.
Yep.
Like it was only one time. It was that one time, and I didn't learn my lesson because I don't listen. But she's now, in theory, because of your magic elixir, she's now on board with the fact that this is going to work out for her benefit.
Well, here's the thing. You gotta. A buddy of mine told me, well, it was before our first Epic Willie's adventure. It was Ryan. What was Ryan's? Stark? Ryan Stark.
Any relation to Tony Stark?
Yeah, I think.
Okay,
I think it was
brother.
his dad.
Probably
brother.
Uncle. Could be an uncle too.
Brother, uncle, dad.
Yeah.
He wandered into the shop one day to pay a bill, and I was like, "How do I do this the right way?" I was like, your beard looks nice. Your beard looks nice." What? Wow, your beard looks really. Holy shit, your beard looks really nice. What'd you do? And he's like, "Oh, it's my buddy. He cuts hair."
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm following along here.
Yeah. And I was like, "Well, like, what do you like? What do you do?" And he's like, "Well, just you're gonna have to go homeless for like a month and a half to 2 months." What do you mean? He's like, "Well, just don't touch it. Don't touch anything.
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Just forget you're trying to grow a beard and just be lazy." Deal.
Besides the fact that you may look slightly methed out when you're going.
Well, there's that. That only lasts for a couple of weeks. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, good.
It just
Good.
Yeah,
go
is
away.
it starting?
The come down is the worst part.
Yeah, that's what they say. Is it starting for you?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah, every day.
ridiculous.
Well, like this will help. Can I throw this to you, or should I?
you can. I'm not sure.
You think you
how
can
this
catch it?
I mean,
Or is
it
this-
is audio.
It's a sport
so-
thing.
It is a sport thing. I can throw. All right.
Can you? Oh, hey, look at that. We should play professional sport.
I know.
Beard oil. I feel dirty.
Well, you should.
Yeah. There's some.
That-
Those are your personal floaties in there.
Oh yeah,
He
absolutely.
did
That's
give you the flavored version too. So
So what you're saying is I drink this, and then magically,
yeah.
I will have.
Well, and like the secret is you got to put a couple drops in your eyeballs,
Okay.
and that.
Should I do that now? Because it feels like
you should.
we may get a couple of hits on this episode.
it's a magic elixir. It just cures everything.
I'm gonna take my earmuffs off here when you start screaming.
It could get loud. Let me turn your monitors down there really quick. But this is another cool thing that you guys. I mean, because you mentioned Epic Willie's Adventure, but this is kind of got that vibe to it. It's even got it looks like a
moonshine
little
bottle.
moonshine bottle here.
Yeah, the whole idea there was when we're trying to find ways to like fund the Epic Willie's Adventure because it's kind of hard to shut a shop down for 3 weeks to go gallivant across the world or country or whatever. And so we're like, well, we all have beards. We're spending a lot of money on beard oil. Maybe we could make a beard oil and then sell it, and then we'd like have all the money we need to do our trip.
You would just never stop going. It would be
Right.
It'd be so epic it would never end.
Where is everybody? I don't know. They just left.
just
The
kept
shop's
on going.
just a ghost town. Well, so we haven't really sold any, and we haven't made any money, but we branded it. We came up with Epic Beard Oil.
You're also the first person that knows about it, so
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
that is $15.99.
Right. Right. I mean, just as soon as I get my paycheck from Phil, we'll be good.
Don't worry, it's coming.
The credit's good.
You know, my dad used to tell me, he's like, if anybody ever calls you, if you ever get and this is before we had caller ID, because rotary phones, you just tell them the check's in the mail. And apparently back in the day, that was like they believed you. Like, oh, so sorry to bother you. Right. We won't call back. Right. 6 weeks later, like, you haven't gotten it yet? Must have got lost in the mail. Like, oh.
Because everybody used the mail then.
Apparently, you can't do that shit anymore.
No.
Like, well, can you? I mean, no, it's really.
How about you just can't you just like wire transfer that?
No, not.
Oh, I tried, but the numbers, I screwed the numbers up.
I don't trust the internet. It's not
right.
a thing I believe in. But if you want to check out the podcast, it is available on all platforms digitally. But no, so
just put that on your face and just
I'm going to put this on my
enjoy
face. So don't put it in your eyes and don't drink it and don't take it rectally and you should be good.
No, you could try it. All of those things.
I did notice that you didn't put any instructions on here, so this is
It's all natural.
really depending on who you run into. This could be all up for debate at some point. Like,
exactly.
Just take a pull out of this. It looks like a moonshine bottle. I'm sure it's fine. But when to get off of the beard subject, but I will. I'm gonna like every podcast. I'll give you an update on how this is going. And,
all right, perfect.
If my wife tries to like shave me in the middle of the night, like it's either a chainsaw or she didn't like the beard growth. And we'll,
hopefully that's the
story will follow along with it.
Right.
But we had Phil on in episode 2, as I mentioned, and you talked about the first time that you met Adam, who we have in studio tonight. Your first.
It was as awkward as this moment
was
right
it,
now.
Was it? It was quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Was it dark?
You really built that up.
Did you also have candles lit? Probably not. No,
well,
they weren't sent.
They didn't smell this nice.
No, they were just plain candles.
It was really just a lighter.
Yeah.
It smelled more like a campfire than anything else because you were in the woods. But so, I will ask you, Adam, the first time you met Phil, out of towner.
Well, I instantly knew that it was a bad idea to talk to him.
And do you wake up every day thinking that same thing? Like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
The regret.
Usually, actually, I wake up in the middle of the night. And then I wake up again.
Night sweats.
In the morning.
And shaking, punching things. Like, God damn it.
No,
sorry, honey. I'll stop throwing elbows.
I don't remember if... Well, I met him at Napa, which I'm sure you talked about.
Yep.
You know,
you guys work together.
We'll relive this moment.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I don't think I interviewed Phil. If I did, I'm sure it was. We don't remember.
Because you were already working there, and then he came on board.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, as a delivery driver, and then 2 days later he crashed the vehicle and somehow.
Did you still get? Was he still employed after that? Like,
yeah.
Wow.
Well, he had to work for free for like a week.
I talked my way out of that one too.
Yeah. And
See,
thanks, Ken.
I was drinking this beard oil. Shit went awry, real quick.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. We both work for whatever reason. We work weekends, I think, or maybe I worked every third weekend. He worked every weekend, I think, because he.
And you'd have like strange night. You'd work nights every second week or something.
Yep.
Swing
but then
shift.
I feel like he knew that he could take advantage of me because I was the youngest person there and opened the weekend, so it was okay to come in drunk or hungover. I mean,
Yeah,
drunk. No, still drunk.
probably in that weird window.
Yeah.
Before the hangover kicks in, we're like, I still feel like I'm pretty good.
No, I crashed a car.
I should drive a company vehicle
Around.
No, it wasn't quite that bad, but.
But that's.
But yeah, that's how I met Phil. It was.
And really, like to say take advantage. Really, I understood I could take advantage when he was out partying with me on the nights before we would open.
I did show up on time though.
Yeah, that's true.
Phil, not so much.
Well, I mean, not quite on time. I mean, close to on time.
Sometimes
Within 10 minutes.
Like,
But
there was
Phil
no-
it would be hours.
Nobody was waiting at the door.
Right. No, you definitely have to make the call.
Somebody please open up Napa.
And
That would be great.
even like you lay in bed and you get the call and you're like,
Do I
oh fuck, it's Adam. Hey, this Phil.
My car's broke down. Wait, no. When he started, he didn't have a car.
No, I didn't. And I'd just be like,
I'm in the middle of my run. I'll be there shortly.
Or I'd be like, I'm on my way. And then I hang up the phone and be like, whoa. I got to get up. Put some clothes on. Yeah, I was not on my way to anything other than more sleep. But
you should have been a motivational speaker. I'm not sure if this automotive off-road bullshit really is up your alley. You should have been like, here's how you do it.
Right.
Yes, I'm on my way. I'm sorry, honey. By the way, you have to spend the rest of your life with this. Just wait till you grow the beard. It's going to be awesome.
Right. Then it's going to be socially acceptable.
I can see that, though. But and Adam probably can, too. Is he can probably see those moments and you saying, someday, honey, I'm going to have my own beard oil. And she just was like, fuck, yeah, whatever. It's cool. Yeah. I'll work for you.
That's exactly
I'll make the money. You'll be
that
fine.
went. Yeah, that is exactly how that went.
No, because I've seen pictures of Phil before you had the beard, and you look like 8.
Well, he was 8.
Taking pictures of Polaroids, just putting them up on Facebook.
I now have a beard with gray hairs in it, and I look in the mirror, and people ask me, like, how old are you? Oh, I'm 33. And they go, oh, not like, oh, wow, you're young.
Right.
I was guessing like 60.
There's more of an apologetic tone to it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry you're 33.
I thought you were on the good side, not on the bad side of 33. Yeah. I know. I get that feeling. I know it. But both of you guys obviously very automotive savvy. You know your way around a shop. The first, or I shouldn't say the first, but the hardest build that you guys ever went through together, because I can imagine there's stress, especially if you're on a timeline. If you're on there's a deadline, you need to have something finished. How many years has that been? Since Napa, how many years has that been? Since you've actually acknowledged that you still are, associates and you.
05. February of 05 was the first time that I met Adam.
That's what, 14 years? Almost 15?
Your
anniversary is coming up?
Sure. I don't know. I don't know when you started. It was
no, like life events are like every 5 years for me. So in 05, I got a license. I met my wife or girlfriend, and I met Adam. Kind of met them within about 12 days of each other. Yeah. So I've known him as long as I've known my wife, and so that's easy for me to remember.
Who do you spend more time with?
Adam.
Okay, good. I just want to throw that out there. Tossing up volleyballs over here. That's a sport.
Oh, yeah. Did I hit it?
You did.
Oh, did I? All right,
out of the park.
Bump set spike.
Okay, got it. Out of the park.
That's probably a touchdown. Yeah.
I'm sorry that I keep chewing this beef.
No, it's I'm serious. I don't even,
soothing.
I don't even care who the beef jerky company is. We're calling them, being like, "Hey,
so here's the
episode 10. Make sure you go back and backtrack
check it out.
Real good beef jerky sponsor.
Yeah, it would be.
But the biggest,
Old Trapper,
the most stressful build you guys have .com. Stressful build,
stressful build.
When you guys were at each other's throats to get to a deadline.
I'm gonna let you take that one because I get stressed out often.
Yeah, he's really stressed out, I think.
You were stressed out when you called 8 minutes after 7. Okay. Been grinding all day.
Well, I was also buying a little time because I was just chilling, having a beer with him.
Yeah, he totally had to take a shower yet.
Yeah. I'm on my way.
Because
that's what we
I'll
call
be
that
there
fill time.
as soon as I take a shower with this beer after I finish this beer, and then probably the beer on the way.
If he ever says he's on his way, that means that he hasn't done anything before he had to leave yet.
Right.
Usually.
So this, I think, all ties in. So Phil's not a deadline guy. Adam's the deadline guy.
Absolutely.
We need to have the Hellcat done, or we need to have this done. I mean, something for, SEMA or something that, Phil had to get home because he didn't have a vehicle. We should probably,
I feel like the end of any major project is always a stressful thing. I don't think there's any that are
I'm trying to think if there's anything where we just blew it up at each other, and I can't. There isn't one thing that's
nothing ever came to fisticuffs.
No, that's
simultaneous too on that.
Right.
Which, I
think we get it.
I'm not gonna.
We do play well together because like, I know that he doesn't like to be confronted, and I don't like to confront him. So, because I also know that I don't need to confront him because he already knows what needs to happen. So it's like, I'll look at him and I'll be like, well, those eyes means he knows exactly what the fuck needs to happen. And he also thinks that shit should move along faster.
Right.
So like, but we just, usually when it's that bad, we just kind of grind together. It's like, oh, fuck. Well, like the 10-day TJ.
Yeah, but even that wasn't... It was stressful because we had 10 days to do something that would normally take, whatever, 30 days or something.
Yeah,
I was
going to say 2 months. But,
But that seems like something that you guys put the pressure on yourselves to do.
Right.
Like,
well, we accepted it. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah. But it was very stressful, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't in the way that we were behind because we sucked or something.
No, and we get, I don't know, I think we both get fueled by that. Because even like, we put deadlines on ourselves, even since the start. Like when you bought that Commando, remember?
That's a vehicle,
Chills-
not like going without underwear. Just
Right,
to
no.
clarify
But you
for-
do both, though, when you
Yeah,
drive it.
Yeah.
It's a rule.
Yeah. I go Commando.
freedom, people. It's freedom.
America.
Miracle.
What was it? Chilson's Jeep Days or something?
Chilson Jeep Days, yeah. If you're listening, chilson.com.
Yeah.
No,
several locations in
Yeah.
Greater
2 or
Chippewa
3 or
Valley
something.
area.
But anyway, they used to have a thing, whatever, they grilled chicken and stuff. And
Jeep event.
yeah, I don't remember. I think I had it for a while, but our big plan was, okay, well, I'm going to paint it. Well, Phil went to body school. I spray painted a couple things. That's about it. And
Graffiti on the underpass.
we used some right stuff,
Tom?
and
Shameless plug.
we got it primered. I think that was the first time. What was the first? When energy drinks came out, it was like Rockstar or something.
Yeah, it was
And
the
I
orange
like,
Rockstar.
Yeah, it was like, oh man, these work. You just slam one of these or two, and then we worked until like 5 a.m. because the show was at like 10 on a Saturday. But
Yeah.
Phil had to work.
I had school. No, I had school. It was like Thursday
Maybe,
night.
yeah.
And I remember we were like, oh, we just gotta do a couple of things.
Just a few things.
Just paint
I'm going to
this.
find some of these orange rock stars and magic is going to happen.
And I remember my wife, like, that was out, we had a house, or like
the
first
airport.
house with my wife, yeah, out by the airport on Iona Beach Road.
We weren't married.
No, my girlfriend, right. And like, I remember it was like midnight. She comes, like, opens the door, and Adam was just like, that was definitely like in the time when she wasn't like, I'm going to be mad in front of Adam because, like, I don't
weren't
know
there
this
yet.
guy. Right, you weren't,
You weren't there yet.
Yeah,
You weren't
no-
there yet. I get that.
Right, now it doesn't really matter.
Fuck you.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, the door opened, and she just kind of looked at me like, and I go inside, like, what? What is it? She's like,
What's
you're
wrong?
still awake working on Adam's Jeep? And I'm like, well, yeah, we got to get it done for this Jeep show. And we're like, we're jamming great stuff in rust holes and like throwing Bondo over it and duct tape and then spraying it.
Well, and it was just primer.
Yeah,
I never did paint it.
No,
I just
'cause-
reprimered it every year.
because you saw the primer, you're like, what's perfect?
Yeah, I
I
like
like
the
that.
color.
I like the way this is going.
And
This
then you
looks
could
good.
just spray paint it every like 6 months, and it would blend right in.
It looked right.
It's perfect.
Oh, we missed this spot. It's fine.
Yeah, I painted that like 6 times, I think, at least since I owned it.
Oh, that was funny.
Do you guys find there's more pressure when it's something that like you have a deadline on as MaxBilt, or is there something obviously a client who comes in and is like, hey, I want you to put a lift on this or want suspension done, you know, whatever perhaps that they want to have done to their vehicle. Is there more stress when it's somebody else, or is there more pressure when it's on you guys to have like your shit together to go out to Moab or to go out to SEMA or to go out to do Epic
Epic or-
Willies? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, typically the customer isn't like, well, I need this done by May 14th because I have a wedding. I mean, it's happened, but usually it's not like that.
And if it is, Adam usually plans it out so that it's not horrible. Sure. The last week before we deliver anything, no matter any of the planning that we could possibly do, sucks. Every time, all the time. And
there's an oh shit moment, like, oh shit, we should probably
right, like, or and it's
I mean, the
usually,
primer looks good, but we
Right.
well, or like I'll look at Adam and be like, and we'll like go over the list, like of like the final things, and we'll be like, oh yeah, we just have to do this, and this. Yeah, that's not a big deal. And then I'll say, oh well, I'll do that because like we'll let the guys work on everything else, and like I can finish up that stuff. And then like the first couple of days, I might work some long hours to just bust it out, and then it's like, I need help. I need help because there's no way that
Phil's in the back raising his hand, like,
Yeah.
anybody? I just want to know if
And
anybody
then it still
has
runs
a hand.
back through the shop.
right, and it's still got to go back through the shop, and everybody's got to put their hands on it.
I don't think we're special in that way. I feel like that's a thing.
No, it totally is a thing.
That doesn't make you guys special. No, it's
No.
the other stuff.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, so then the other shit is definitely like, is not that I'll take it because I definitely am the guy who's like, oh, we're gonna take 12 Jeeps and we're gonna drive across the country in 6 months. Or remember when we did the Overlander?
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, so here's the deal. I'm gonna go. We had a shop meeting. I was like, this customer didn't want it. If you're listening, you know who you are.
We still have it.
We still have
It's
it.
not for sale.
They still have it.
Right.
Adam, everything is for
We
sale.
would change
That's right. If my accountant was listening, he'd be like, that thing's for sale.
Just so you know,
It's
everything is for sale.
Yep. 70 grand, you can own it.
75.
75.
Well,
All right.
actually,
You needed a cut. Get it. 80.
72.5. I'm just saying. Throw my numbers out there.
No, you deserve 75. All right, get it. And so I think it was like the end of August, and I found this vehicle for a customer. They ended up passing on it, but it was perfect. So we were like, I think we need it. Adam and I were sitting next to each other. He's like, well, we have to buy that. Like, it's glorious.
Oh, so you're both fuel to the fire. It's not a one-way
yeah.
street. Okay.
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Here,
I
the
think
whole
I found it
Yeah.
yeah.
The whole
for the
time.
guy, and it was like he
You were like,
he
check
just mentioned it was like, oh well, I'm thinking about doing this. Well, then of course we're gonna look, and
once
like
you-
if you
yeah.
tell me that you're thinking about it, like if I find something, you should be ready.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
By the way, we have this in the shop. We bought it already. You owe us.
Well, we found it in
X amount
like
of dollars.
an hour. He left,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh, here you go.
Right.
I think I called him that day. I'm like, I found it,
It's everything that you were talking about, everything you could ever imagine.
and then it for whatever reason it didn't pan out, but it was.
So it was like a Thursday, and then I think he was gonna swing some cash in on Monday, and then Monday he came and he was like, so meanwhile we planned the pickup and everything
Yeah.
because
I'm guessing it wasn't down the road.
it was down in Des Moines.
Yeah.
Not too far.
No, it wasn't too bad.
There's some breweries on the way.
Oh yeah.
TG.
Is that the one I just at? What was the one I was just at? We were at it too. What the fuck was it down in wherever Grizzly
The
Coolers is?
Toppling Goliath.
Yeah.
TG.
Yeah,
Toppling-
TG. All right, that's
Whatever.
You got to
Apparently-
stop using acronyms.
I'm sorry.
Apparently that place is a thing.
Right.
It is.
yeah.
It's an amazing. It's an amazing place.
It was big.
Do you see that? He's blushing.
I am. Little hop smack
There's
and a little
tear.
little.
OMG.
Just
Sorry,
saying.
Sean. Northwoods.
By the way, toppling Goliath. Okay, I won't. I'm just saying. I'm a fan.
This is the Northwoods hour.
Right. Yeah, please. Please. No blasphemy.
Yeah. Let's not talk about fucking Iowa. Yeah, all right. But
So yeah,
the
so we
Overlanders in
found it,
Iowa,
and we're like, oh yeah, shit. The dude comes in, he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. So then Adam and I were talking, we're like, well, but it's perfect, so we need it. And then he had some.
He did what we should have done is that he slept on it, and he woke up and he was like, yeah, I could live without that. And then we said, well, we didn't do that part.
No,
we just bought
we
it.
just went down to Iowa and came back.
Yeah,
with
we're
This
suckers
is amazing.
for
I
that.
have to have it.
Right. Well, then because before we even got it, we're like, yeah, we could do like a SEMA project. Like Adam
No,
was
at
like,
that time we didn't. No, it was just like
wasn't it?
no, we
was
bought
like a
it. And
thing.
we were just gonna build it to. I don't remember if we weren't gonna build it to sell it. I don't think we were gonna build it to show it, but it wasn't going to SEMA.
Right.
It was
wasn't
just like a build, and we committed to doing like a week to get it running or something.
Yeah.
And And then we did it, and then I don't remember, somehow...
Steve called you, and he's like, do you have any projects for
Yes, and then someone called looking for a SEMA project, and then like midway through.
It was Crown Automotive Group, crownautomotive.net.
And then it turned into...
You know how to find me.
A SEMA thing, which then, of course, then it's like, well, we can't just do that. I mean, we have to do this and this and this.
Yeah.
But that is it. But the Overlanders has become kind of it was the conduit to a lot of other avenues for...
Oh, absolutely.
For you guys.
Well, and so, and it's all coming back to me now. It's all coming back to me.
Thanks. I was wondering if Celine Dion was going to get brought up in this episode.
Well, because we had done Epic earlier that year,
Yeah.
and so we saw that Jeep, and we were also building a Jeep for my sister at the time. That was like a old Jeep with a new drivetrain, and so the idea behind this project was like, oh, well, we'll do the same thing just so that we don't have to have like an old piece of shit looking Jeep that also had a piece of shit drivetrain, so that we could. So we're like, oh, we'll put a newer drivetrain in, and we could drive it at speed, and then. Like one thing kind of led to another, and then Adam was talking to Steve at Crown, and he was like, "Oh, do you guys got anything that you could bring for SEMA this year? It'd be really cool." And he was like, "Well, we got this project that we're doing," and then that spurred into, and this was like the middle of September. SEMA is the first week of November, so then we had a meeting in the shop, and it was like, "All right, so we have less than 6 weeks to do this project." That should have taken like at the least amount of time 6 months.
Right.
We had 1,100 hours into it in that time frame, and I remember, and that was just like as far as I wanted to go when I was trying to price out what it was valued at. I was like, well, it had to be about 1,100 hours because any more than that would just make me want to vomit. So, on all the money that is still sitting in my parking lot, it's still for sale.
It was a number you wanted to admit to your wife,
Right.
Like, so
It was
that time I haven't been home.
Yeah, there's
Here's the reason.
A few late nights on that one.
Well, that's another thing, and you guys, I mean, and not that using tonight as an example, but in working with you guys in the past on projects, or you were working on a project, I was just kind of going, hey, I'll bring you some beef sticks. But
We brought the beef sticks.
yeah.
we did.
Pay back some motherfucker. but this isn't a I'm gonna say a Napa job. This is not working at the beef jerky plant that Phil is going to apply for, but this isn't the 8 to 5. There's not the window. This isn't working at Napa. This is
No.
when you guys have something on the table, when there's a deadline or when there's something that you're passionate about, that continues past the hours of normal operation of a business. How do relationships? Is everybody on the same page? Like it feels like if I called my wife and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be late again, like I would be living with one of you fuckers, and that sounds horrible. I mean, not like,
so bad.
But the mornings sound horrible. Like, oh my god, like why does Northwoods keep on sending beer to this place? Like,
Because I'm just gonna keep drinking it.
Because if they do, eventually I'm gonna be on the donor list, which is fine. I'm cool with that. I'm already on the list.
It's a thing.
But you guys, you like, your wives must be like, they knew what they were getting into. Like, so you're crazy, and I'm cool with that, right? Like, is that how that worked out?
Yeah, sure.
Like, are they being?
Is this
paid?
on the air, off the air?
But it's not live, dude. Like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh,
yeah,
well,
totally.
then.
Then, yeah, they totally
like
know
you can
they're
send me a
in.
text tomorrow and be like, hey, remember that part about my wife? Actually, all of the parts, just delete that shit. Like, we can do that. Like, it's cool.
All right.
I know the guy who does post. That's me.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
know
cool.
him too. He's all right. Well, I know
Iffy.
it was not always like I told you, like that first project that Adam and I were working on, which probably wasn't the first one, but it was the first one. It was one of them, and that like look of like annoyance and disgust. I don't know. I think that's what it is.
No, that's the look. Yeah.
I mean, that left about 5 years ago, and like I hate to like I need to think of a better analogy.
Just don't
Again,
do that.
if there's a
Everyone
delay, we
knows-
delete that and make you sound really, really smart, really clever.
I think he's kidding. It's a trap.
It's a trap. Star Wars. Do you get see Star Wars? That's cool.
So yeah, so I probably should. I'll just maybe stop on that one. No, it has not always been like complete and utter understanding, no matter what,
Right.
which I get.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not always around. I'm not like for me. Take the last week. I was in like a week ago Sunday. I was driving back from Moab, Utah.
Yep.
Got back. Went to Easter for like the first time since 2007.
Yeah, like 11 years or some
Yeah,
ridiculous shit
It
like
was
that.
a long time. Had Easter, fell asleep on the driveway in the sun.
Wait, what,
No,
I'm
went to
sorry.
Easter at the
you-
in-laws and like I ate some food and I hadn't slept in like 30 some hours and like the food hit, man, and I was just like, this really
Were you
nice
in a vehicle or are you
warm
just like
spot.
literally on
No,
the driveway?
Literally on the driveway.
Okay.
I was like, I'm
That's
just gonna
cool.
crawl out onto the driveway. It's so warm.
He is risen. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And so, and then the next day, drove to Milwaukee, so I was gone from early in the morning until late at night. And then my truck fucking blew up. That's a story.
Was it the Dodge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With my cell phone.
The dark helmet.
The dark helmet blew up. It sounded kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it burst into flames and, well, smoke, lots of smoke. Hoped it burst into flames, but it didn't. So, yeah, my transfer case grenaded. It's really loud when that happens.
I don't have a sound effects guy, so I got to make my own. And
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
We need the guy from Police Academy here.
I do. He's on retainer.
Yeah. And he's got to be old now.
He's still doing his thing, though.
Is he?
I've heard him on a couple of different interviews. He's still.
It's pretty
It doesn't
impressive.
sound as good with the dentures, but it's not bad.
Hang on a second.
Well, yeah. And then
That's why I can afford him now.
And then 24 hours later, I was on a plane to North Carolina. And then my wife left town I think the only girls trip she's ever been on. There's one other one that I can remember. So, like, then I could tell, like, go on as many as you want because you put up with me and I get that. And because I fly back from Charlotte at like 8 a.m. in the morning, almost missed my flight, had too many whiskeys. Blaming the bartender. And then I went to Adam's house for Eloise's birthday. Heather came back on Tuesday, yesterday. And then, like, I left the shop at like 4. I was like, oh, see, look, like I'm doing a family thing. We'll cook you some dinner, put the kids to bed. And then I was like, all right, the rest of the week, I don't know when I'm going to see you because I got a podcast Wednesday night.
Oh, way to throw me under the fucking bus.
Yeah, well, it was your fault. But,
Yeah, well.
you know, hey. And then Thursday
His
is,
last name is Force. It's fine. It's cool.
and it's just everything. It's always something.
Right.
And yeah, sure, you make time for what you want, and I make time for my family. Not that I say like when it's needed, but you know, it's a total give and take. It did not come easy.
But you're kind of in go mode, though. I mean, like, when opportunity presents itself, when things open up, and you're like, you don't want to have these moments, the moments that you don't have, that you miss out on, that you miss 11 years of Easter. But it's
But there's
Easter Jeep
Thanksgiving.
Safari. It's
There's
Moab.
Thanksgiving, so
There's another holiday.
it's the same meal too. You ever notice Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas? They're usually all the same meal.
Let's cook some meats. Oh, okay.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
we can also do that on Tuesday. You know, it's like I'll fucking eat ham whenever. Like it's like I'm cool with it. But I think when you are presented with opportunities that don't come along, and I think you guys are in a very unique business. I mean, it's not. Again, I don't want to keep on bringing up working at Napa, but it's not. Hey, I'm here to service somebody else's, you need spark plugs, or you need windshield wipers, or I need to deliver this. You're in a very unique position to be able to not only like create things that are really born out of some weird, wicked, twisted, demented mind and say, we can build this, or we can go down to Iowa and find, we happenstance, we found this overlander and we're going to turn it into something that's, that still stands to this day and has been in print magazine. Hang on, catch. Got it. And when you have, especially when it comes to lucrative opportunities or making connections or networking, it takes a certain individual and a certain kind
takes a village.
Well,
Cooper,
it takes a whole village, and when you and we'll get to the fact that the whole village has to fucking leave the township to go and do these kind of epic things. But if you don't, it's tough to be in a marriage, in a family, in a situation where you have to say, look, eventually everything's going to be okay. But right now we need to, if we don't take this opportunity, or if we don't nail this thing down, or if there's a deadline, or if some asshole is asking to come on his podcast and I have to pick up a whole bunch of beer, if you say no to those things, not this one in particular, thank you, sound effects included. Thank you, guy from Police Academy. You still sound great. It's fine. But you have to, if you don't want to end up one day going, shit, we should have done that. We should have went down and bought that thing. We should have went down and we should have made that build, or we should have gone and the Epic Willie's Adventure thing, which is just, that's mind blowing stuff. Even the trip down to going to Moab, that's you're not taking Hot 19 Jeeps off the lot and going down, and making life fucking easy on yourselves, because you're doing it the way that you want to do it. And you have to have, and I imagine that you both do, very understanding partners in life to say, I understand that you're fucking nuts, but I love you. I love you nonetheless. Because if you don't have that, then, well, you probably fucking still living in Utah, and
Yeah. or your basement.
Wait, Jeep Safari's done. They don't hang out after it's done. They're not. Nobody's here.
Hello.
It's like we went to Sturgis for the 75th anniversary of Sturgis. I'd never been out there before. If you've been through the Dakotas, I'm sure it's like nothing. There is fucking nothing there. And then you get to Sturgis, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, there's 1.5 million people there for the 75th.
Yep.
And we talked to a couple of the locals that were down there, like, yeah, when they're done, like, this is like, we make our until the 76th. Because unless if you go to the Black Hills, there's obviously some tourist destinations that are out there, but that's where the bank is made, is during that week. Other than that,
oh yeah,
it's Jonestown the morning after. Like, dudes that didn't drink the Kool-Aid, like, congratulations, you're still standing. It's a tough pull.
No, yeah, no, and that's for us. That's what Moab is too. That's the. All right, that's good. I was waiting for that.
I was trying to get some echo effect on here, but I patted the window. So,
was that what those are? Is there a window back behind you too?
No, there's not. No, this is just in case I lose my shit and I need to bang my head against the
the
wall a couple times.
Bangs his head on the wall there. Yeah.
Adam knows. He bangs his head against the wall every day. He's like, fucking Phil.
That's why my computer doesn't work.
What? Damn it, Friza, fix that.
But you gotta. I think you gotta have that kind of understanding, not only you both must. Otherwise, again, you would be living in my basement, and then again,
we might move in.
Then my wife would leave me, and we'd be like we'd have a reality show, like,
right.
Here's what happens when shit goes wrong.
We just hit the record button, and then we'd ask you to just post.
We'd mic the whole thing up.
Everything right.
It would.
Well, and that's the same. Like, I think I get a lot of ideas too, and not only like our significant others, but like each other. Al and I play well that way too, because I definitely am the guy who's like, oh, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do this, we got to do that, and he's like, well, like, he is way more. There's times where I'll be like, on cloud whatever 27, and Adam will be like, well, that's a good idea, but like, nope, we need to just
we shouldn't do that.
We need to focus on this, or that, or it's like, hey man, like we got this opportunity, like we're doing a ton with Advanced Auto Parts. We're doing a ton on our social. We've got a lot of opportunities with other manufacturers and brands that we work with through Epic. We've got some documentaries. We got all these different things, and like I try to chase these down, but then I have to trust him a ton because I have to make sure that the shop is like still gonna be able to like, hey, like Friday, if I'm gone, like, do you think on Friday like people are gonna be able to cash their paychecks?
Does he like just stress you the fuck out? I mean, maybe you're used to. I mean, 14 years is a long time to be in a relationship.
I don't stress out too easy.
But
Nope.
It's got to be pretty bad.
All right.
Yeah.
Has he ever gotten you
real bad?
Bad? Like, God damn it, Phil.
I don't know. I mean, maybe a little bit, but
it's okay. You can't fire. This is we'll delete
well, no,
this part.
no,
You
I'm
can't
not
fire.
too.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, it doesn't,
Don't worry.
No, like let me have it.
I'll tell you.
Just one time.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. That's not. I mean, I'm not saying I don't get stressed out, but like,
It lasts like 30 seconds.
yeah. I'm totally.
You understand?
I'm the guy that's like, you can be mad at me, but then I'm going to be over it in about 8 seconds.
Right.
I'm already over it.
'Cause
I forgot about it already.
You can figure out like, you kind of analyze, in your brain like, hey, no, we can't. Okay, God damn it, we can figure that. There's a way to figure it out, and that's, I think.
No, he's got a super analytical brain, like, and he can see, like, and we still struggle together on like builds projects or like bidding time on a project.
Right.
That's always tough, but like I'm definitely the guy who's like, I don't know, like I feel like I could do that in like 45 minutes, and he's like, yeah, not gonna happen. Like, you mean like
I
four
guess
and
like an hour and a half, and then it's still 4 hours.
right? Yeah.
So timing is an issue. I got you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Not easy
We're bad comedians when it comes to that.
When you, you guys are in there's obviously others that are doing the same thing, at least nationwide. Are there people that I'll start with Inspire, that you see, whether because of what they achieved, because of what they build, when you go out to different events, whether it is SEMA or whether it's Moab or whether it's because you guys do a shit ton of events, especially during the summer, that you're like, God damn, those people, like, man, that provide you inspiration. Other people in the off-road manufacturing, industry that you're like, yeah, that's the guy, or that's the team, or that's the person that I'm like, you want to say,
To set the bar.
To use a sports analogy. Yeah, to set that, like, okay, we need to be better than, not better than, but yeah, they're
No,
doing,
we do.
they're doing
We need
the
to be
right.
better than
Well, I know that.
Yeah,
I
but we're humble.
I was trying to be nice to
Wisconsin.
them. Yeah,
So.
well, yeah, I know. I get it. But there's a ton of people out there that are at least attempting it. But then there's the upper echelon of people that are like, who do you look up to?
I think I'm the guy that's like, I don't know if I would say look up to, but like in our field or whatever, everyone has their little project, like the Overlander,
right,
or, whatever. I feel like I look at the particular thing that they're doing, but like maybe not like read in too much, because like I'm sure behind the scenes, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it's horrible. Like not that ours is horrible, but like,
what is?
It looks good. It looks good. And I look at that like, oh, they did a really good job on this or something. But
10 years ago, I think it was different.
Yeah, you don't look into their back room stuff. I don't care.
Because you don't think about that. We've done similar projects 10 years ago. I know, like, you'd be like, oh man, like, look at those guys. They really got it figured out, or like whatever.
Right.
And then like now, like, we talk with them and they're like, shit, man. Like,
we ain't got shit figured out.
Right. And so, and it's not even fake it till you make it. It's none of that. It's just like, for us, we don't care what we do. Us, the crew, we're just going to do our thing.
Right.
And, like, well, the I Am Roamer guys, there's a company called I Am Roamer.
.com.
It might be, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But, like, it's super cool dudes. We saw some of their stuff, and, like, I wandered around a SEMA hall, and it was like, man, did you see that? That was a killer build. That was really cool. They did an awesome job with that project. And then we ran into them, and they were like, oh, the Overlander inspired us. And we were like, oh, well, sweet. So then we had this, like, common ground, so we could chit-chat going back and forth. And you know, like they're continuing to produce amazing projects, and of course, like I still look at them and I think like, man, I really want to do something like that.
Yeah.
Even though like at the same time I was thinking about SEMA this year.
Right.
You know, we built a really awesome Jeep with a Hellcat motor in it. You know, not a lot of shops have done that. But I still looked at their vehicles and I was like, oh, they killed it.
Right.
You know, so I think anybody that truly appreciates like their craft, and you know, anybody can slap parts on something.
Right.
But when you can see that they care a little bit more, or they go that extra mile, you know, just to, if they're fueled by passion, I want to align ourselves with that. And I think we're kind of all in the same boat. By like token, when we go to an event, sure, you used to wander by a booth and be like, oh, these guys, they look like they're having a ton of fun and blah, blah, blah. But then you're like, well, let's go back to my booth because it was a lot of fun. Like this year, playing Hammerschlager, hanging out, you know, people want to come as like a natural booth draw. We don't have to do a ton of gimmicks, although gimmicks sometimes help.
At these events that you do, because I've seen you guys' setup, and again, that Hammerschlagen thing, I will someday I will be able to accomplish. But is there a lot of camaraderie at these things? Is there a lot of like mutual respect between, you know, different shops are doing different things? Or is there like any friction? Is there, I trying to put this into perspective of you go into this big event with a bunch of people that are not all doing the same thing, but in the general sense of the word, yeah, we're doing off-road, or we're, doing these things, or we have a different product. Are there people that you're like, fuck those guys, fucking fuck those guys?
Only if they've been dicks to us.
Yeah, not too many.
So it's on a personal level. It's not on like a professional thing. It's if they're.
I think that our whole industry is that way.
I agree.
Very like, they come in to hang out or whatever. They talk to you, or it seems that way. You can talk to any of them. They come into your booth, they hang out, whatever. I mean, it's very like,
friendly.
Yeah, whatever.
It's sure. Not tense. It's not like, oh, you guys are here, and
it doesn't. I don't think so. I mean,
No.
I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but like, it's definitely not. Even though there's so many that do the exact same thing that you're doing. Like, everybody has their own little like flair or something that like, then they're really not competing with you,
right?
So
and like the other side of it, like, we just don't care. I mean, we care.
Right.
But like, if somebody's upset with something that we did, like, we just like, okay, man, like, that's your opinion, man.
Right.
Like,
wow, you're like the fucking stoners of like, it's cool, man. It's like, that's like your opinion, like that you just totally went Big
because
Lebowski
like it
on
doesn't.
there.
Yeah, I know. But it doesn't do any good to like get fired up about it. Because you think about like, if Adam and I, like, even if we didn't like work together at MaxBilt and do, like, what would we do? We'd do the same shit. We'd have a different job, 8 to 5, and then we'd still work all night at each other's house doing.
What would you do? I mean, if you weren't doing MaxBilt, if you weren't doing this, what would be your professions? I will take food service industry off the table, and I will leave you with. Because that's always my backup plan's always been like, I don't know, like food service, like I don't know.
I mean, I'd make it.
Would you like me to supersize that shit? Like what other passions are there? I mean, I guess at that point, if you're not doing what you love, it's a moot point. But if it's not this, like, what are you guys doing? That you're still hanging out on weekends, going, you know what we should do? Drive to fucking Iowa. Like,
well, that's the thing. But then we'd have to be like, how are we gonna get the time off?
Would I have the third Saturday of every month off?
Right.
Like what? Like is there any other thing on your? I mean, you guys have been doing this thing for some years now.
Too long, right?
Yeah. You've shared many a night underneath the stars,
right,
under a tent somewhere. Is there anything else you could vision yourselves doing as a profession? Could you guys do 8 to 5? Could you do the?
I've always thought about starting a podcast.
Don't. It's not lucrative.
But then I've heard it's really
not. No.
really doesn't work out. I have no idea.
You know, it's what's that 80s song? You give me promises. I'm kidding. I love them. I do.
No, quit looking at me like that. It's total. Yeah,
I can't really see you because that light's reflecting off your glasses. You just look like Satan. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's been too long doing this, I think, and it, I guess it's kind of a nice like realization. Nobody's really ever asked me that, and I guess I haven't asked myself that too much. Well, other than like daily, like fuck this shit, but I don't know what else I would do.
Yeah.
And so honestly, like I think that's good.
Yeah,
I think. Thanks for this like pivotal moment in my life.
I really am. Hey, guy, hit the button that says
Right.
Hit the Jesus noise. It'll be fine. It was just Easter. But I mean, I think that's what you need to have if you're in it, especially when you're doing something that, I mean, this is not a cheap industry to be in. You know, I go out to my garage, I look at my Jeep every day and be like, you know, it'd be really cool if I had this. And I'm like, well, fuck. Do I need 2 kidneys? Like how much of this liver do I really need to have? Because
no, you can totally sell them.
Just piece by piece. You know, I mentioned a little bit here. But I mean, this is not something that, you know, I mean, there's money in this industry. There are people that come to you guys. They obviously have the, you know, financial whereabouts to be like, I would like to put
a
5, 6, a new motor in my Jeep, or I would like to, you know, all the things that they want to do to it. But there is going to be times when it's like, well, if you're doing a project, you have to invest your own time, and time is, you know, I will always say time is the most valuable thing that we have.
And I didn't get that till probably the last 5 years. Honestly, for me, it was like, oh yeah, well, I'll just do that. Well, and then you keep adding things, and I think you notice it too. Like the last couple of years, even like we both built sheds at about the same time, like in our off time at our houses, and it was like, oh yeah, well yours isn't done, neither is mine.
So we started. You started something.
And well, yeah, and like, but it's like, well, when am I going to have time for that? And then we'll get together and like our families will plan camping trips, and we got like Phil this weekend. And those that weekend and that weekend and that weekend is all shows or events or whatever. So yeah, there's a balance, but I mean, there's also, I mean, there's been, I don't know how many times over the last few years where I've looked at Adam and I've been like, dude, I don't know what to do. Like, there ain't no money in the bank. Friday's coming. Like, what do we do? And I would say it's almost magic. But Friday comes and shit works out. It's like, wow. And that laugh you just heard is the exact same laugh that it's like, I don't know, fuck, that just happened.
That's the.
But it worked out. Let's not ask questions.
For my next number.
Yeah.
We need that button. Ta-da.
And then we go home for the weekend. We come back. And then we.
Ta-da.
There it is. He's got it.
As if on cue. And then we get back into it. So I mean, like, yeah, there's definitely like scary moments, and you know, plenty of times when we just don't know how it's all gonna work. But you know, I don't know. Business has been good lately, but we also, like, the flip side is we gotta fucking bust our ass nonstop to make it work.
There is when we were on the first or the second episode with Phil, the mention was dropped about Epic. What is this? The third Epic?
It will be.
It will be the
E3.
Third.
This is the E3.
Oh, E3. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah. Feel free.
Yeah.
Feel free. Right. Put it on the back of this beard bond. This beard.
Yeah. E3.
Is everything still in place? Is Oregon Trail is still the trail to go? I'm seeing a look. I like this. Oh, what's happening?
I thought in my head, I'm like, are we supposed to say that? But yeah, no, we are. It's really.
Oh, we dropped that shit back in February.
Yeah, I know. I thought about it. I was like, did we talk about that? We did. And then at that point, I was like, we didn't tell anyone that.
Okay. Nobody knows except this super secret group.
It's a thing. Mm-hmm.
Epic 3 is happening.
E3. E-Cube.
Ooh, I like that better. I see a logo design in my future.
Yeah,
in somebody's future.
I'm gonna need you to whip that up.
But when you have, I mean, Moab is one thing. The other events you guys do are another thing. Epic is, I mean, it's not just a clever name. I think I mentioned that in our interview. This is shutting it down and good luck and wait for the documentary. How much is this like? This feels like, you know, a legacy. I mean, this feels like when we're all gone, like Epic will live. Like the stories of Epic will live on. I know. I went fucking deep on you guys right there. But this
I still feel like it's just like, man, well, let's just go. We might make it, but really, who cares if we don't?
It will be our legacy because we're going to die along the side of the road.
Right.
In a fiery...
I got bit by a rattlesnake.
You should have forged the river, Adam. You should have forged the river. But I mean, this again. I mean, Epic is it's a great brand. It's a great name. This really feels like legacy project. Like I think everybody in life should have that thing that they're like, yeah, that was ours and we owned it and it will live on past us.
I think that this year when we were in Moab, it was weird because like you said, like people would come up, like we had this thing where like, oh, we're gonna have this meet and greet at a CarQuest or whatever, and we're like, oh, wow, nobody's gonna show up, blah.
Right.
And there was like, I don't even know, 20, 30, I have no idea how many old Willies that showed up. There was like a ton of people. Everybody showed up.
Wow.
And they were all talking about it. And 2 guys showed up from Wyoming that we met on the last trip. And the dude's like, yeah, I went out and I bought a Jeep after you went through. You inspired me.
That was his words, man. Yeah.
And he bought it. Him and his brother both bought him. They got him going. They maiden voyage, like he finished it like the night before he left to come to Moab. They came to the show right away, and then we of course invited him on a trail ride and like broke his brother's Jeep, but
yeah,
they made it
semantics
back.
Semantics.
And it was like that happened multiple times
right
while we were there, so that was kind of cool. Like,
and honestly, like that was what we were, that was the thing, that was the idea. You know, people call us like, oh, we want to go on your trip. Well, no, man, like, do your own trip. Like, that's the whole point here. Like, just try it. See what happens. Like, what's worst case scenario? You're going to be stuck on the side of the road for like 4 days in Montana with a broken-ass Jeep, and, like, you're going to have to make a new friend, and maybe they'll drive you halfway across the country or not, Cody.
Forge the river.
Right. Well, what did Roger tell you?
Yeah, he said, I don't remember what his exact words were, but he's like, you need to do this. He's like, you just do it.
Rogers,
it doesn't matter. You have a house, you get a second mortgage. Like, you have a chance to do it, you just do it. You know, you don't get chances to do that sort of stuff every day.
Right.
Granted, I mean, we have kind of worked it into a thing where we get to do it often.
Right.
But like most people don't do that.
No, right, and those that go, like,
they don't even think it's a thing to even remotely do it. Like, it's not even, doesn't even cross their mind. Like, I wouldn't drive that to the grocery store.
Right.
You know, I think the word inspiration that was brought up, I think that is so. I think it's bigger than the word even describes, because when you can, something that you do or something that came from, this creative minds that got together and said, hey, or, at the time, maybe they didn't seem like creative minds. Maybe we're told this is the stupidest fucking thing that you ever could have, conjured up.
Well, we're laughing our asses off as the words are coming out of our mouth. Like, this is the dumbest idea ever.
I have an idea. Here's what we're going to do. But, when you put it into fruition, when you are able to bring it into like a reality sense, and you don't do it in the easy way. You don't do it it would be real simple to take a new vehicle and drive it from here to there, because that's really this day and age, that's what they're built for. They're built to go coast to coast, up and down, all around, maybe not so much off-road, but to have this idea that now builds into something that is now in its third trimester, to use a pregnancy word there.
Yeah,
throw that in there. Yeah. But and to go out to different events, you are. Wait till number 4. Oh my God, it's gonna be fucking nuts. But now you have people that go like what you did, what you created, what that meeting of the minds came to, inspired somebody else to make a purchase, change their lives, go on something that they're going to live with those memories forever. You have just created something from, the confines of the shop out on your road, sandstone. Sorry, I take the left by the thing.
Right.
But that's like
off of the Greenway.
Now you have this legacy project. I mean, this is like a thing that will live on, and somebody somewhere down the line, after ashes to ashes, dust to dust, all that bullshit, this will be a thing. Like somebody will buy the naming rights to Epic Willie's Adventure, and it will carry itself on. I mean, that
they better pay us handsomely,
and they better have the same beard oil because
that's right.
And put some instructions on the back about where to put it because I'm still confused. That has to be of all the day-to-day stuff. You know what? Because there's oil changes that come in, and there's things that you do that you probably could do with your eyes closed, or send the new guy out to do. Like, hey, we got to put jack that up and put that on and weld that. But now you have like this thing that is now become bigger than I think the idea that probably the thought process that went into it. That's got to be like you got to go to sleep well at night. You got to. I mean, okay, maybe not well. That's.
Oh no, I sleep like a baby every night.
Well, that's because you sleep for those 3 hours and you get back up and do it again. But
it's 5, but
it's hard to think. It's super hard to think of it like as when I think of the word inspirational. Mm-hmm. I guess that's not what comes to mind. I'm not saying that, like I didn't inspire someone, but
right.
Like,
conceptually speaking, somebody was inspired.
Yeah.
You're talking to the guy that on the first Epic Willie's Adventure, his motor blew up.
Yeah, I didn't make it, but I wrote a lot.
We heard that
but
story.
whatever.
We heard the story.
That doesn't matter.
It was you were an inspiration
I was on the first
to
one,
me.
so the second one.
That is not on video.
I just want to let everyone know
that is on video.
The second one I did make it.
For the record. For the record.
But that's what the whole thing is. I mean, now this is the story. I mean, the story of hey, if you guys made it from A to B without any issue,
yeah, there's no certainties.
That's not fun,
right?
This is like, this is real. Like this shit really happened. Like we didn't make it out of La Crosse, so we didn't make it to, this destination. Here's how we had to fucking go. Oh shit, we could turn back, and the story's over. Or how do you press on? Well,
you just do it.
Some people leave their shit on the side of the road and wait 3 months and go pick it up later. It's potato.
Right.
Yeah. Do your thing.
Well, and like that kind of hit me. It was last year Epic when we were talking to one of our potential sponsors, and he's like, "Oh, come over and meet me by, our booth. Let's talk about it a little bit." And he respectfully declined their sponsorship, and then the next words out of his mouth was like, "How are you able to do this? How are you able to shut your shop down for 3 weeks?"
Would have been nice with that sponsor money, but whatever.
Right. Well, and that was the thing. Right. It's like, well, like, thanks for and to be fair, they were involved.
Right.
Not in the same regard, but like, and he's like, how do you do it? How do you do it? And I just like, I didn't even think that was a question. Well, we're doing it. We said we were going to do it, so we're going to do it. And then we figure out the rest of it later.
Well, we do have, well, it's shut down, but it's not shut. It's not like
the first one was like, shut down.
Yeah, that was different.
And because leave the kids there, the kids can take care of the sandblasting and that kind of work that needs to be done.
It's not like we're like making. Yeah, right. It's shut down. We'll call it shut down.
But you can't like a major project can't come in during that period of time.
Right. Yeah. No, and like we planned for it and whatever. But like, the first one literally was like, oh, we got paid for some product on some stuff, like thankfully the week before we came. And I was like, oh, well, this money should be spent to buy more product. But this money also could just keep the doors open, keep the overhead going for the next 3 weeks because we're going to leave. Because it was happening. It wasn't like, oh, well, we didn't get the money, so I guess, checks and balances and blah, blah, blah. It was no, like later, deuces, we out.
Yeah.
We're just going to do it. And that, I don't know if that's the mindset that we have. I think that is like, If you say you're going to do it, you do it.
Right. You can't let situational things hold you back from going
It's
on.
only money, typically. Well, like
They'll
that
print
would
more.
Yeah, well, and we had a customer say that yesterday, and I said, "Nice to meet you."
Good. Are you printing it in your basement and then can pass as counterfeit? I'm asking for a friend.
Right? Yeah, paying 20s, that's fine. But like money is always the only thing that really ever stands in the way of anything. Obviously, sounds cliche, but at the same time, like that's the plus and the minus.
Yeah.
Well, how do you do it? Oh, well, we make plenty of money. How do you do it? Well, we didn't make any money, but we just decided to do it anyways. And then we'll figure it out. We'll just mop up the mess later, if that's the case. If not, great, gravy on top. And then the thing with us is we come back from it, even, any one of them. Come back on a Sunday after 2.5 weeks on the road, and Monday is, thanks for calling MaxBilt. This is Phil, this is Adam. I need some brakes done. All right, sounds good. Bring it in. We can get your,
Right.
It's just business as usual. So I think that for us, it's just, we know what needs to happen to be able to keep it happening. And, no job too big, no job too small. And we just do it. And there's always Google if we don't know where we're going.
We can always go to Iowa. Well, again, you guys, not just because of the work you do, but I think because of that mentality of, fine, I'll have one more before my wife disowns me.
Do we get bathroom breaks?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we can edit that shit.
The bathrooms
out.
over there.
We'll wrap up. We'll be all good here. But
We're wrapping up.
Oh.
Well, now
I
I forced the end of it.
Oh, yeah. Way to go, Adam.
Sorry.
Apparently he's
you
kicking
pee
us
in that
out.
can and you like it.
I will,
it's,
if you need to.
Aim is everything. Yeah. It's fine.
Whoops, I missed.
Tucker. Just do what I do. Blame it on the dog. You're like, I don't know, fucking dog down here. Put that gate up. He jumps right over it. He's like a little ninja. But there is, I think, in any industry, no matter what profession you are in, if you can find somebody doing something that is like, well, fuck, paid for and bought by the Broken Eights. Shameless plug. I love those guys. I think you have
Sorry, that's the chair. Yeah, okay.
That's okay.
Continue.
We'll buy new ones.
Continue.
Someday.
You may continue.
To find that kind of inspiration, you can find it in any industry. You can find it in any podcaster. You can find it in anybody that's doing off-road stuff. You can find it in somebody who's doing speeches or somebody who's doing medical work. If you find somebody that goes, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put the words into it, say it in my mind and tell it to my team, and we're going to go and do it and conquer this quest, hell or high water. That inspires only people that are doing it on that same level. The guy that came up and said, yeah, shit, you inspired me to, get this project done and come down to Moab and do my thing. But I think anybody who is like anything that's holding them back in their quest to be a better human, a quest to be a more, financially stable human, or just to fill out, like, I don't want to do 8 to 5. I don't want to do, go and have a boss that tells me what to do every day. The little stories, and somebody who has a Jeep that says, yeah, I got to go to 8 to 5, but damn, these guys are going on this Epic Ways adventure. And, oh, you know what I'd like to have in my Jeep? X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to go see these guys because they do it. I mean, again, that's why I think I resort back to, this is the kind of stuff that is legacy, that leaves this lasting impression beyond the call that you get from that person that wants to get their brakes done on Monday, comes in and maybe you have 3 minutes with them and you're going through pictures of your Epic Willys adventure. You're like, oh my God, you got to see this rattlesnake on this side of the road, or this time that this, the story from the reservation that was on this side of the road and we're not going to go there. Oh my God, we're there. Oops, this happened. He tells all the stories, man, and nothing is sacred. But maybe that person takes that and goes, wow, these guys don't hold back. Their brake job turns into something else, or they go, man, maybe I want to not have a Cherokee. Maybe I want to have a, something else. To me, it's something that you are the kind of guys that have this, we're going to do it. And there's a very, very, very small percentage of the population that has that kind of attitude. It's a go through the routine A to B, Monday through Friday, do my thing. My 2 days are my weekend. I'm done at 5 and I check out of work. That's, I don't know.
It's definitely.
I find inspiration in what you guys are doing.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Except for this until tomorrow. And I'm like, fuck you fucking assholes.
Well, enjoy the beer. No, like
with love. With a heart around it.
Well, but like even like our crew is very like, and it's taken some time. You know, we like the guys that want to be a part of it are a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Riley in particular. So he's been one of the guys that I met him like the day I moved into that new shop, and I actually literally met him for the first time Thanksgiving Day. I was over at my cousin's house, and he was having some friends over after the whole, you know, the family stuff. And I met this dude, Riley, and we were drinking some adult beverages.
No.
And he's like, hey, man, like, if you ever need any help, let me know. I'm like, oh, well, tomorrow I'm moving my shop to a new building. So he came over, and he immediately he started helping moving and everything. And he's like, oh, you know, I like what you got cooking. If you need any help, let me know. He worked for 6 months for like lunch and a pack of smokes every day.
This is when smokes were cheap, right?
Yeah.
Before they were
$7.99.
like, sure, buddy.
Well, that's the thing. Like he saw something. He liked the idea of like what we were all about. And at that point, we was just me and Riley. You know, and obviously my family that were behind it, but. You know, he's still there to this day, and you know he went to school. He's got a degree, and like plenty of people have probably said, like, "Dude, what the hell are you still doing there?" But like his heart's in it too. Like
right.
He sees it. Not only does he head up our manufacturing side of life to make sure that we've got, you know, the products get out the door and like manufacturing schedules on time, and like it's rarely on time. It's not necessarily always his fault. We're just like, we're a bunch of dudes that are like, well, we say yes. Can you do it? Sure. Oh shit. How do we
now
do it?
Or like later?
What's a production schedule?
Figure that out.
But then, you know, he spends his mornings like going through emails, making sure everything gets ships out, and then like busts his ass from noon to 5 on whatever project we have in the shop. Like we thinned out as of the first of the year a little bit, which was smart. Because, you know, we needed to for the bottom line, but also as soon as we did that, like everybody stepped up, everybody got closer, and everybody just realized that, you know, like that was also a great sound effect.
You're welcome. I don't have to pay that. Well, I do. I pay him in general. Thank you, AT&T.
Yeah, right. Monthly. But I don't know, like that's that type of heart. I call it heart. That we're all in it together, and we just know there really isn't well, I just got to get through this for another couple of months, and then I'm out of here. At least I don't think so, Adam. Right? I mean, we're
Adam's like, moving to fucking Cabo. Yeah. Fuck you, assholes. You.
See, but when I call it out like that, it's a little less awkward later.
Remember you said in that podcast? That's great. I love what you guys are doing, because I think it's not only because I'm, you know, I geek about the Jeep stuff, but again, it's a story of inspiration. It's a story of a team unit that's together, and somehow miraculously nobody's, you know, dead yet. I mean seriously, with Epic, with just the
except for Frank.
I don't know. I feel like we should save that for episode 3, because I don't know if I'm ready to deal with death just yet. But no, I mean, it's
ratings were up.
Someone's getting paid to die. But no, it's a really the industry itself is fascinating to me, because I think there is kind of this call back to I don't want to say to nature, but to being able to get out and explore, and to see the last remaining parts of the world that are you know, not paved, that are not highway, that it's not fast paced, that you can go slower, but you can do things that normal people don't do, that can off road, and you can
call it a grassroots movement. I mean, I feel like it's back to basics, right?
I think it's local on a global scale. It's a weird, like I want to go get my stuff done by you guys, and then I want to go explore like as much of the country as I can, So you want to have it done here because you don't want to ship your thing off or buy it online. You want to go and with you guys, it's a tangible thing. Like I could come in and see the work being done and ask questions and get opinions and then have you tell me like, okay, I think you should go out on this trail. Here's some good spots locally. But if you're really looking to get divorced, you could go this way and see, how many Mounties can you outrun when you cross the border, just in case that, situation would happen. But there's so much more of a renaissance to that. I think that kind of attitude. I think, and not to resort back to Beard's 101 that we started this podcast with, but that whole this look is coming back. This it's not a macho man thing, but it's this.
We're pretty macho though.
Well, yeah, I think Adam and I both know that shit ain't true. But there's the renaissance back to this kind of wholesome. Man needs to pee. Let the man. Otherwise, I'm fine. I'm peeing out of my nose into this can. It's going to be fine. But there's the nostalgia of it. But yet,
pass me that vase over there.
Don't tell my wife you peed in it. I won't tell you that I peed in it before. Last time I did a podcast with fucking Phil. But I think you guys are a part of something that's, and I hope you realize it. That's bigger than what you guys are doing, because it's huge. The movement is huge.
Definitely want to think that way, but also don't want to think that way.
It's a tough balance. I imagine it's a tough balance.
Well, yeah, because sure, we look at each other often. And we're like, oh, we'll hear something on a national scale about something that we're doing, and we just kind of laugh and we're like, oh, I don't know why they think that's cool. Sure, deep down inside, you're like, oh, that was pretty neat. But that's also happy. It's that humble pie. Eat it and just move on. And just, the reason that we are that I guess the things get talked about is because we're just gonna put our heads down and do what we're gonna do. And yeah, we want people to come to our shop, whether it's for a break job or whatever. But we want you when you come in to know kind of what you're gonna get, no matter what. And if you choose to have us build you a 1950s Willys, or you want us to, change oil on your, Hyundai Sonata, I don't really care. And it isn't, I don't really care. Money's money. It's, hey, nice to meet you.
Right. Human interaction. Yeah. People to people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good service. Good, just having a trust. I think there's a level of trust that maybe people are starting to be really hesitant about going to places that maybe have a big label on the top, and you're like, yeah, but
well, yeah, for a long time, that was the thing, like unhumanized corporation, not to get crazy whatever on it, but
robots changing your oil. Yeah, dude, I get it.
Right. Well, for a while, that was a thing. It was a cool idea. Oh man, look, I can drive my car. I can get I can get out, go wait in the waiting room, and it automation, poops it out the other side, and it's all done, ready to roll.
Magic.
Yep. I swipe my card and away I go. And for a while, that was cool because, wow, look at where we've come. But then, after a decade of that, it was well, yeah, but I miss it. I miss that that connection. And you see a lot of bigger corporations now looking for ways to humanize themselves again, because they don't want to be that. That household name with no face.
Right. As much as the world wants to be as fast paced as it can, at the same time, it wants to slow the fuck down. It wants to be like, hey, let's, yes, I know I only have 15 minutes to go and get my oil change. And oh my God, it's 8-minute abs. I can get abs in 8 minutes. Well, yeah, you can, but
8 times 10,000.
Yeah. If you do it 8 minutes at a time over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Right.
It would explain a lot.
It would. You also have to chew on that leaf.
I must have missed that.
Yeah. 8 minutes. 8 minutes at a time.
I did it
8
once.
Minutes. Wait a minute.
Oh, man.
I sued them. Fuck. I'm 8 minutes. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I still don't have
it. 8-minute ab.
You and 800 million other people are just waiting for that class action to come through.
I'll get my 25 cents.
Pretty sure this was false advertising. I don't know if this is, but there is definitely a. Let's be fast paced. I mean, I'm a huge embracer of technology. I know you guys are too. Social media, I think, is the biggest platform. I mean, our phones have become the remote controls of our life, and I think if you either can embrace that and be like, okay, this is just how it is, or you can be like, no, fuck it, I'm not going to be on it, and you will eventually get left behind. That's just the way life is.
Yep.
But there is also, I think, with that fast paced world and having everything at your fingertips, I think that's maybe what has caused this renaissance into, I want to have human interaction when I go and get something done, or when I go get, my hair cut, or I want to get my oil changed, or I want to, get my food. I mean, the thought of going into a place and like never interacting with a human being and having food delivered to me really is rather frightening.
Right.
Like, I didn't see one person besides other customers, and I have this sandwich in my hand. It doesn't seem right. But I think what you guys are doing are really embracing that fast pace, especially in the social media world, because you guys are all over it and really kind of owning it in that industry. But there's also this kind of talkability. Like I can come into your shop and we can conversate, or you can be out on the road at Moab or at Willie's and or wherever else you guys are, and talk to people. And that's like something that is, thank God,
Right.
coming back into something that people actually do, is have conversations like, oh, this is a really cool overlander. Hey, here's the story behind it. And then obviously that leads to some good conversation.
And even like on the social side, like we don't use it as like it's something to like hide behind.
Right.
We're not like, oh, well, I'm so much cooler online. We're just like, no, we're dorks online, and we're
Yeah, I mean,
we're dorks in the shop.
I'll attest to that. I mean,
Right. I mean, it doesn't matter. But it'll go like, because the last thing we want to do is have somebody come up to us and be like, man, I thought you'd be taller. Like, just no, because then it's easier for that interaction too, so that we can just kind of be ourselves. Right. And I mean, I love it. We all love it. And sure, like we play different. We don't play parts. It's not like, okay, game face on, but we play off each other to have fun in our shop, and then we put snippets of it online because that's just the way that it is in our area, of whatever it is. So
what's next? What's the date? Epic Willie's Adventure 3, E3, E squared,
E cubed.
E cubed.
E cubed is
that would be
fall-ish.
Whatever. Yeah.
We'll come up with the dates like about a week before we leave. So.
Here's when
later next year.
Yeah.
2020.
It's 2020.
Yeah. But later.
That's all
later than earlier.
It's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a trip, and this is the Oregon Trail. I mean, this is.
Well, a lot of other people did a big pilgrimage, and they made it in a lot slower vehicle.
Some
not all.
Some didn't.
Did they?
A few. At least two.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Preferably, hopefully not cousins.
Right. Yeah.
At least first cousins.
Well, I don't know. I mean, look at California.
You've been to Oregon before,
But
I love rain.
It's so beautiful. Well, I don't know. Yeah, but yes, we're gonna do it. Yeah, we're gonna be there. And again, like, people are like, "Wow, look at those guys! You're gonna drive that shit across the country," and we're like, "Well, like, I don't know. Why is that special?" And so then we just put it to the test and see. We might find out why.
Here's why: because it wasn't quite Oregon. It was
right. We went into Nebraska.
Yeah,
it's beautiful here.
Comfortable,
right?
But I think that's But I think anybody at that point could say that. I mean, if you are a mixed martial artist, you could be like, well, yeah, that's just what I do.
Right.
And other people can be like, oh, that's fucking insane. Like, I wouldn't go and try to grapple with somebody,
Right.
Even if they weighed the same amount as me, I'd be like, would you like to have some cocktails first? Like,
right.
Is that cool?
Right.
Yeah, me and Connor going like shot for shot.
Right.
Yeah. No, he'd win. But I think that's it. Depending on what field you're in, you're still doing something that other people go, holy fuck, like I couldn't do that.
Right.
In there, I mean, that's the first reaction in my mind is like, there's no way I could do that. Not okay, physically, mentally, pretty much every part of me would be like, so where do we like die? Like, is there?
I'm sure you could do it.
Yeah, you could. That's the thing. You just got to do it.
People, but like the general populace doesn't think that way. They don't when they're looking at another.
Take
field.
my hand, Cooper. We will carry you through.
Now I definitely can't do it. Adam knows. Adam's like,
you'll have to ride passenger. I mean, because not that the driver has to do everything, but they do need to at least.
As long as you're not driving a stick, I'm fine.
Well, they're all sticks. So,
they're all sticks.
Yeah.
Well, watch your hands.
Yeah. You do have to be able to at least change your spark plugs. So, I mean, we know you're out for that.
I'm totally out. That's why I call you guys.
Right.
But you are doing something that, like I said, it depends on what lifestyle you're in. Everything can be unattainable if you look at it from a different person's perspective. You're like, yeah, we're just going to do it. We're just going to drive old Jeeps out to Oregon. And people are like, that's fucking crazy. I'm just going to go and
watch them do it.
Right.
On video.
I look at that
a year later on, Amazon Prime.
Right.
It's going to be cool. But
or Netflix. Or Apple. We haven't decided yet. .com.
See, they're teases. They walk in with their beard oil and their beards, and they just tease you. But okay, so let's talk 2019. What's on the docket?
Tomorrow. Yeah. I don't know. That's a lot. We got a lot of things planned.
That's good.
We got a lot of things going on.
A lot of things to finish.
Yep. And, we've been...
this is a podcast, gentlemen. You're not like live on the radio. It's okay. And we got a lot of things. What's the biggest thing you're doing in 2019 that you can officially say? This is going to take me 4.5 fucking days to edit.
Crickets.
You're doing something big. There's...
Well,
so
obviously...
Something big? I mean...
Well...
Our we're living, man. We're just living.
Great. You're not going to die. That's good. Let's put that on the...
Yeah, we'll be there.
I mean, every month we have a big event from now until December. Well, through December. And I would say that between, obviously, like, just keeping the shop going, the events that we've got some big projects. But that's kind of the day-to-day stuff that's kind of always on the docket. We're branching out. We're working with some larger companies to kind of get that whole idea that we were just talking about as far as the grassroots idea, the sharing the the mentality of our shop with others to let people know that like it's possible to be yourself. And
Still be cool.
Right. Yeah, it's and understood. Like, you don't have to have all the answers all the time. Like, that's the biggest thing. And sometimes when you tell people, I don't know, that's okay, whether it's in a shop setting or whatever. But in June we've got the Bantam Heritage Festival in Butler, Pennsylvania, and then we've got a couple other local events. Apple Valley Farms, they do a big wheeling event that is in June and July, and I'm hoping to have you up for at least one of them. Cooper, Adam, I know you're going to be there.
Yeah.
He's without choice.
We'll see.
And then in July, I think we'll have a booth down at Country Jam, so people can come hang out with us there. As well as we're a big part of the an MS fundraiser called Crawl for the Cure up in Minnesota. In August, we're doing a big team building experience. We're going fishing in Canada.
That was a good lead in there.
Yeah. Well, that's the other reason how
Remember when we talked about people not dying on the shit that you guys do?
The important part is we'll be out of the country for this experience.
It's a write-off, too. You call it team building, and then you can go party with your friends and go fishing.
Okay, we're
up in Canada.
We
met an awesome dude. Hang on, shameless plug again. Jeeps and Tacos Off-Road. Met those boys down in Moab. They're the one dude's a Mountie for Canada.
Mountie for Canada.
Wow.
I think he lived in Saskatchewan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Somewhere.
He lives in the territory, eh?
Saskatoon,
Hey.
Saskatoon, yeah. So hopefully, maybe we'll see him.
He'll probably ride his moose down to our lodge, and we'll hang out and drink some Molson. So.
Good,
It'll
good.
be
So
great.
we're not above categorizing Canadians as moose riding.
Yeah,
Well, he's a
Molson drink.
He's a Mountie. So.
Did you bring some Molson Ice? No, just the regular Molson. Oh well, fuck you.
All right, where's my Labatt? And then in September we've got Crandon International Speedway.
Yep.
Up in Crandon, Wisconsin. That'll be a big one. October is our customer appreciation event up in Minnesota, and then November is our SEMA project.
Dun dun dun.
Well, we'll
We
figure.
have a large idea. We just need.
Yeah, we'll just.
If anyone's looking for a really amazing vehicle,
Amazing.
it's going to be amazing.
It'll be timeless.
You need to call me.
It'll be epic.
already
That's Adam
designed.
Schultz,
Adam,
715-210-0256.
You just
Is
need
it up?
them. Yep, ideas are done. It's done. Just call.
Yep.
But that's exciting. I mean, it's got to be. I'm trying to fathom living in like your guys' industry and just the go of it all, and then especially now that I'm like not go. I'm more like a show and less of a go. But to always have like exciting things that are on the horizon and never know. I mean, tomorrow could bring something else. Somebody could walk into your shop. Somebody could call Adam's number, which is I'm just kidding. Don't
715-210-0256.
feel free. Call him all the time, late at night. He prefers late at night. But to have that kind of like somebody could call tomorrow and be like, yeah, let's do the SEMA project. Let's do this. Or how about this idea? Hey, we're starting a new thing here. That's
Well, another thing too is like,
it's surprising that you both are still not like at each other's throats all the time. That's
Yeah.
love.
because
I mean, and you've spent a lot, like I said, a lot of late nights under the stars. Jeep's broken down. It's cold.
lonely.
It's
Whoa. Let's just
your
back
wives
that.
are back in Wisconsin. You're in fucking Utah.
Well, there's a
Wow,
lot of
dramatic
beer.
pause for effect.
That was
No,
very
we'll delete.
dramatic.
So we
We'll
did
delete
that.
that.
So yeah,
We'll take that
no,
out.
they make beer for those
the
nights.
Time
That's why I'm growing the beard.
Right.
Those late nights.
No, but I mean, and the thing is, like, you know, somebody may call tomorrow, like you said, and either, you know, maybe they need help, maybe they need this, maybe they need that, and then, like, you know, yeah, things shift.
Yeah.
But we figure it out, and that's the thing. Like you say, like, what are the exciting things? I guess part of it's just, hey, follow along, because we don't know what the ride's always going to be.
Right.
But it's usually boring. It's
usually, it's mostly fun.
right.
Well, mostly fun. Yeah. Mostly.
That was so forced.
Mostly
It
it's fun.
It was kind of fun.
The other half of the time, it sucks balls.
Yeah,
but,
that's
you
the
know.
guy who likes to plan, and then there's me who's like, I don't know, man. Like, let's just be whimsical with it all. We'll just figure it out. No.
You guys should smoke some more pot, I think, before we get on this next thing. You guys are on all social medias. Give the fine folks of this podcast listen where you're at.
MaxBilt.com, MaxBilt on Facebook, MaxBilt Off-Road on Instagram. Tom's going to work on our Twitter. I mean, really, who tweets anymore?
We tweeted things once.
Tweedly deet. Also, Epic Willie's Adventure.
Really,
We're on the Cooperville
you are linked on
in.
welcome to Cooperville.com.
Yes.
Feel free.
Yep.
Jump on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like 8 people tweet. There's 8 people tweeting
right now.
Right now, are you watching that live?
No, like not about
No,
us.
you didn't.
But like generally speaking,
Oh, there's
there's
two.
8.
There's two.
One of them
And-
is Donald Trump.
I was just,
Right, yeah.
actually, 7 of them are the president, and the other one is an athlete,
Others.
a scorned athlete. It's weird, but they'll talk about it on sports radio tomorrow. It'll be fine. Thank you guys for coming down, bringing the beers, and
Absolutely.
hanging. It's always good. It's always good to get on the hang.
Hell yeah. Well, we hope to be back often, and we've got more surprises as we kind of come on down the line. But if I do that,
you see what he just did there?
yeah, well,
It's like a tease.
Yeah, we've got some good friends that we'd love to bring down. So
sounds like trouble to me.
Yep.
Welcome to Cooperville.com is a website available in all places that podcasts are available. The MaxBilt boys will be back, and beers will be had, and we'll apologize to our wives tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Cooper.
All right.
Appreciate it.